Hello, this is Megan with Little Gray Squirrel. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm sharing a new cut file that I created. This one is a heart-shaped box and it has two lid options. This is one of them, and this is an opening heart. So if you wanted to create a box for Valentine's for like kids in class, you could use something like this. Or there's also an option with a solid lid if you prefer that. It's a two-piece with the lid and the base of the box. Each of these parts are 4 different pieces of paper. So there's one for each of the sides, the top, and then on the inside is glued together. I will put the free cut file in my resource library on my blog at littlegraysquirrel.com, and I will also show you here in the video how to assemble the box. After downloading the free file, choose the paper you want to use. I'm using a lightweight cardstock. Cut out the file and weed off the excess paper. I have the sides of the box cut out. I'm going to remove it from the mat. And you don't want to peel it up because it might curl the paper. So you turn the mat over and you take the mat off of the paper. Set those aside, and then I'll use my pick-me-up tool, this part, and I'll just pop out these little hearts. This cardstock, this is the marble pack that I got on from Amazon, and the setting I used blade 3 in my Cameo 4. I used blade 3 with a force of 33 and a speed of 15, and you can just barely see the outline of the hearts. I don't know if you can see it in the video. These were, from another cut, but that's really how you want it, is so you can just barely see the outline, but it cut all the way through. So that's a perfect cut setting. Unfortunately, machines can vary, so you want to do a test cut every time you get a new material, and then write your settings down if they're not the factory ones, or even if they are the ones that are suggested in the software. You should still write it down just so that you know that's the one that you use, and you can get your cut settings right every time. Here are the pieces for the box. So the two solid hearts, one is just slightly smaller than the other one. These are for the bottom. These, the larger pieces, are for the sides of the bottom. The two hearts with the cutouts in the center, this one is for the inner part of the lid, and this is the top part of the lid with the flap that opens. And then these are the outer edges. So first I'm going to put the bottom together, and the lid of this actually sits on the inside of the outer box, so it's going to be just a tiny bit smaller. So I'll set these aside, and I'm just going to use my tacky glue. And I'm going to work with the smaller one first. So you want to line them up, and you can see this one is the smaller one. So this is going to be the inner part of the box, and this, just going to fold the flaps here. So we want the pattern to be on the outside, so the flaps are going to fold to the inside. And then they're going to go to the bottom part of this heart. So it's going to line up like that. So I'm going to start gluing on the top part of the flap. And I'm going to put Alright, so I have some paper, parchment paper here. It's going to protect my work surface, and when the glue dries, it's going to just peel right off. It's not going to stick to the paper. Okay, so I put some glue on these tabs, and I'm going to start lining it up on the heart. And it doesn't matter how nice it looks because it's going to get covered up on the bottom anyway. So we just want to make sure that this edge of the paper is securely in the point of the heart here. And hold that in place, and then tuck the tabs under as you're pushing it around. When you get to the part where it doesn't have glue anymore, just start adding some more glue. Tucking it and holding this firmly in place. The thing I like about the tacky glue is that it dries pretty quickly, so you don't have to hold it too long, and you can move on to something else. Okay. And you can use some paper clips hold it in place, or you can put something inside here to weight it down. It's a little floppy, but once we get the other parts glued on, it'll hold its shape. Okay, so this side is going to be glued to the outside here, and then when we come around, this side is going to be glued there, so this is going to fold, and then these are going to fold. I'm going to start again on the inside. So this one, I'm going to hold it at an angle so that I can get the flap to the inside of the heart and the paper underneath. There we go. Like that. Make sure this seals up nicely. Seam. We'll let this dry just a little bit, and then we'll go back and make sure it's all in the right spot. You can lay the box on the side and make sure that the inner seam is fully secured, and then hold it in place again. inside, you'll just have to run your fingers down to make sure it's making contact. Okay. So now we can set this aside. So now we're going to make the lid. I have the inner part, and this is the top part. So this hollow one will be the inside of the lid, and the reason it's hollow is because this is a flap, so you can insert the Valentine treats inside, because a lot of kids give out Valentines with candy and other stuff, toys with them, so just a little slot probably wouldn't work. So this way we'll have a nice flap here. So I'm going to work with the hollow part first, and we want this be the inside and this be the outside. So we will fold the tabs to the inside. All right, so let's start gluing. Place it under, make sure that the edge of the paper matches up pushes into the point there, and push that down in place, and then just tuck the tabs under the heart all the way around. And this one, the flap is going to be folded in so that it tucks inside of the top part, and we're going to put the glue along the top. And then this tab is going to go on the inside, so I'm going to put some glue here. Okay, so first I'm going to place the tab to the inside, and then we can start lining up the tabs underneath. There, and then you can let this dry for a little bit, and if you need to, you can weight it down the inside. All right, this is dried just a couple minutes. It really doesn't take long with the tacky glue because it gets tacky. Even though you can see it hasn't completely dried, it's still definitely workable to move on. So we will move these pieces. And we're going to turn this over, and this is the, like I said, the lid. So we're going to glue this to the top part here. All right, so when we do this part, we don't want to fill glue on here. We only need to glue around this perimeter. Okay, now you want to work on a clean area because you don't want to put your pretty lid of your box on a dab of glue. So I'm just going to fold this over so we have a nice clean piece that we're working on. And choose the side that you want to be the front. We'll make this the front, so we'll have this be the back. And let's go ahead and set the heart down, lining up the bottom point and the top. And once you get it centered, just go ahead and press it into place. And let it dry. So what I have here is just a little pom-pom and one of the hearts. So I'm going to glue this on to use as a handle. So making sure you're only gluing onto the lid because we don't want to glue it closed. Go ahead and add just a tiny bit of glue to the box. And add the heart so that you want it to overlap. It'll hold the lid closed and be able to open it. Squeeze that in place. And then we can add some glue to the center. Our flap here. And we want a fair amount for this one. We're going to put the pom-pom on it so it'll stay on there really well. So now we're going to want to let that dry. Okay, and while that's drying, you can add some more decorations if you want. You can add some more, some of the other hearts, the pretty marble patterns on them. You can write your name or your child's name on them. Or add some glitter or some bling, just some other cool stuff. So I decided I'm going to use some bling. This looks so cool. So I have these sheets. I think I got these at Dollar Tree, but it's a sheet of rhinestones, and they're black and rhinestone color. So I'm just using the rhinestone ones, and they are on a strip, so it's really easy to put them on evenly. So just set it about evenly spaced to the next one, and then peel it off your fingers. And then line it up next to the edge and press it in place. When you get close to the end, you just want to see where it's going to line up. Ooh, that's just about perfect. And snip off the ones that don't fit. There we go. I started on this in the center, and when I put it down, I placed it where I knew I would have enough so that it would line up. If I had just set it there, then it would be uneven. So I had it, I put it so there was a one perfectly placed in the center, and I worked around this way, and then I worked back at this top and around this way, and that turned out really pretty. And our pom-pom is just about dry, so now our mailbox opens. I think this might need another row of these. What do you think? Should we do along the inside of the lid or along the outside? It's a tough decision. So I'm going to start again by placing one right at the center. It's a heart. So now it's going to curve around. Okay. And I'll just peel off another sheet. And try to hold it on the side so it doesn't stick to your fingers, because that's not very fun. And now just follow the inside of the line, pushing it in place. And then I'm going to start and go around this way. And let's add one more right there, so just gonna trim off. I like it, right? I think we have our finished box here. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos where we have fun and make stuff. Also, follow Little Gray Squirrel on Pinterest and on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to see what's new.